Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's episode of Talking Point. I'm your host, Syed Neaz Ahmad. We have come back after a break of Ramadan, Eid, and our celebration of 14th anniversary of NTV. Plus, welcome to the summer capital of the summer weather. We have had this summer weather for quite some time now, and we're still boiling in the heat. I'm saying this because I'm sitting in this studio and with the jacket on. Anyway, today we have in our guest, as a guest, Susan Rahman. She's an accountant. She studied physiology and biochemistry, but chose to become an accountant. Her father was an accountant, and we'll ask her what made her choose this profession. Okay then. Welcome to the show, Susan. How are you? I hope the drive was not that bad.
No, it was fine, thank you. Not too bad. Got here anyway.
Got here in time, and even before time. Susan, you studied biochemistry and physiology. What made you switch or divert to a profession that was your father's?
Well, I studied physiology and biochemistry with a view to actually studying medicine, because from a very early age I wanted to help people.
Right.
But actually when I started studying it, I found that actually there's more than one way in which you can help people, your community and the place that you live.
Right.
So I chose accountancy because I knew that it was a job where I could work for myself, I could have a family, and I could do something for the community that I lived in.
Right, see, so the pad was there, you see, like your father's business was there, and you joined the business.
I actually...
But before that you worked with our companies, isn't it?
I trained for 5 years in the city,
Right.
but actually I set up on my own initially, because, you know, nobody wants to really start working for their father.
Under the shadow.
Absolutely. I wanted to prove that I could actually do it myself. So I worked for myself for 3 years. I set up my own practice, 200 yards away from my father's practice. And then as I got bigger, my father and his partners basically invited me to join them. So I was a practice within their practice.
I read somewhere that you started from the back bedroom of the house.
Yes. I had a flat in Collier's Wood.
Yes.
I had my little office in my back bedroom. And then as I was getting bigger and bigger, you know, the decision, the economic decision to take an office, take staff, was taken away from me when I joined my father's practice.
Right, see. And your father's practice was known then as KWSR, and it still is.
It was known as Khan Wahab Shafiq Rahman, and then it was such a mouthful on the phone that we abbreviated it to KWSR.
Yes, it sounds like an American radio. You graduated from King's College, it was a joint honours degree, and qualified as a chartered accountant in 2007 as a fellow.
No, as a fellow in 2007, yes.
Sir. Over the past 16 years, you have developed KWSR, a business practice which was established in 1972 by your father. See, now you as a, I know there are plenty of lady chartered accountants and other sort of cost accountants, but how did you find when you joined your father's business, and were you accepted by this male-oriented society of ours, and then this male-dominated profession?
I was accepted, but not fully, because predominantly my father's practice, you know, they were predominantly Indian restaurants.
And they were males.
Male. And they were very nice to me and very polite and very respectful, but they were more comfortable dealing with
your father.
My father.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I did is I decided, because my father was very community minded, always has been, has always been community minded, so he wanted to work for the community. But there's more than one way to work for a community. So I decided that I would work for our local community, and I would find clients, and actually in particular women in business, in my community. And I developed a rapport and liaison with a lot of women in our local area.
Did you find many women business women in your area?
Hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots and lots of women are in business.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly or interestingly, when they found that there was a female accountant in practice, you know, it was like I was pushing against an open door, flooded to me. So the practice that I have now is predominantly business women, managing and running their own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I employ women who have children and who also need that flexibility with their working hours as well.
Right. When in your student days and even when you were at school, I think you were very keen to serve the community. You went to care homes,
Yeah.
and when I was reading that, I thought, oh yeah, this is a person who is going to be a doctor, maybe a physiologist. See,
Yeah.
but then again, you went into something else. See, but since when you were a teenager, you did feel for the community. What was the reason? How did you get into that?
Well, I was brought up in Bangladesh from the age of 11 till 18.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're from a country like Bangladesh, third world country, you know, just, you know, by the grace of God, you're born into a good family or a lucky family. And that's how I've always felt, that I was very lucky to be born where I was. So one of my best friends, Rebecca, and I, we used to work in a children's home where women who were raped or beaten or kicked out by
In
their
this
husbands.
country?
No, in Bangladesh. They would be pregnant, they'd have their babies, and Rebecca and I worked there. And it's actually from working there that we developed this sense, or I developed this sense of giving back to the community and actually doing something for other people when you are so privileged yourself.
Great. How would you help a battered woman? How would you help somebody who has been abused and tortured by their close associates or their friends or their close relatives? How can, I mean, is in Bangladesh, is the society really ready to accommodate them? How would you help them?
You know, I think the way we help them, well, we were very young, because I started working there when I was about 14.
Yes.
And the biggest thing that I found that you could do is speak to them, talk to them, accept
share
them.
their worries and sorrows.
Yeah, somebody to talk to, somebody to accept them, and actually somebody to give them hope.
Yes.
That they're not alone. And, you know, the things that have happened to them, the atrocities that had happened, was not their fault. So that's what we did, basically.
Yeah, but this continues even today. I mean, unfortunately. I mean, I know everybody's trying to do his bit, but this sort of thing goes on and everywhere. I mean, and women are, I mean, being abused and tortured and trafficking and so many things. You see. But anyway, I read somewhere you were passionate about demystifying the accountancy profession. What is the mystique about the accountancy profession?
I think, you know, I think the stereotype of accountants is that all we do is count,
Yes.
count money,
So bookkeepers.
bookkeeping, making sure that every penny adds up. But actually, you know, the thing about numbers, the beautiful thing about numbers, it tells you where you are, where you've come from, and where you can actually go. So if you understand how numbers work and how you can make that information work for you, you can grow. And that's the essence behind what I do.
Demystifying.
I try to demystify the accountancy numbers.
For somebody who is not interested in like mathematics or even arithmetic, how can he be interested in the figures of 2 plus 2? Or how can you prove 2 plus 2 is 4? Why not 3.5? You said that you help reduce the strain on a small and medium-sized businesswomen by working alongside with them as a business partner, or even businessmen as a business partner. When you say business partners, I mean, you are an accountant, you are a consultant to them, isn't it?
Yes.
See, you're advising them how to make best use of their time, the opportunities, the whatever they have, and the money that they have,
Yes.
see, and the expertise they have, see. So how would you do that? I mean, like somebody has a small business, how can you advise them to use the best opportunities, because you are possibly more interested in preparing his accounts and filing it to the authorities.
No, you see, there you are. That's exactly what I'm trying to demystify.
Right.
That part of my job is nuts and bolts, something that you have to do. That's a necessary evil.
Right.
But the information that you get from that account is what I try to explain to my clients, how to read it, how to understand it, and how to make that work for them.
So, like a businessman, you would tell them how to use the expertise, the available opportunities, and to cut down their costs.
That might be one aspect. Cutting costs might be one way for them to grow, but actually sometimes, depending on the sector, spending money might be what they need to do in order to grow.
Right.
So each individual business needs careful thought
Right.
and planning.
Right. So your services come in packages, isn't it? See, you can't be providing the same service to every single client.
No.
Like, I mean, obviously, like the lawyers. See, you spend 1 hour and you charge them according to the hour spent on, like auditors do that.
No, so, and this is how I've changed from the normal bog standard accountant. I offer a fixed fee service so that my clients know exactly how much they have to pay me. And as they grow, then my fees grow. And I think that's fair. So, you know, I don't want my clients not to pick up the phone and speak to me because they're frightened that they're going to get a bill. So I've introduced fixed fees so that everybody knows where they are and where they stand.
So every month they have to contribute or something like that?
Yes, so every month. So basically it's in bite sizes. We agree a fee up front and they pay monthly installments.
And you send your auditors or boys to look at their accounts every month? Or?
So every month, actually with technology now, it's amazing. So
Yeah.
every month we prepare people's books and records, we analyse their figures, look at what they did last month, and we actually prepare a little report for them. So,
And they can chart out their future course according to,
yes.
or in the light of your reports or
Yes.
your advice. That's very good. Now tell me, you are also chair of Athena Business Networking Group in Balam.
Yes.
What is that?
So Athena is actually it's an international and national business networking group for women. So women come to this forum once a month.
Right.
We have lunch. We all talk about our business and we all share what we would like the other people in the group to do for us. And actually it's fantastic because women are very community minded. They're not competitive. So if I say to another woman in my business group, look, I'm looking for schools. For example, last year I wanted to do charities and schools, and I told all the women in my networking group, please help me find charities and schools. They all put me in touch with somebody that they knew who wanted an accountant in a charity.
Right.
So what Athena does, it brings business women together to help them grow through their connections.
Right, we are nearly the end of this segment. So when we come back after this break, we will talk more about your charity and other activities, social activities, community activities. Thank you very much for being with us, and don't go away. We will come back after this short commercial break. Thank you.